I just wanted to put a bunch of my favorite living artists together in a stew and just let everyone cook, you know.
You interact with the Ochi the most in the film as Yuri. What was your first reaction to seeing the baby Ochi and to seeing the adult Ochi?
The first time I actually saw it was in London. It was before we went on set. And it was actually kind of ugly because it had like no fur. Do you remember?
It
was just like it was just like a body, so that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But you know, when I first saw it, I was like, oh my god, this is great because I have this thing that, you know, looks so real, so I don't have to like act with the nature and just, you know, I don't know, air, I guess. So it was great, and you know, he almost became like a friend. He looked so real, and those puppeteers made it like come alive.
What was it like having a real thing to act with instead of a tennis ball or instead of a person in a motion capture suit?
Great. It was great. It helped me a lot. I had something to look at and something that would move. And as you said, those puppeteers were just, you know, great because they were like covered in blue, so you almost actually wouldn't see them when there was like a screen in the back. And they would, you know, move it around like it was an actual alive thing.
Well, those puppeteers are some of the best actors there are. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so subtle and so, you know, they really, really understand the physiognomy of emotion.
Isaiah, what was the choice to go so practical and so kind of quote unquote old school with this story when it came to showing these creatures?
I think the goal from the beginning was always to make something that kids might think is completely real. And that informed the design of the world, the setting, making the creatures seem maybe like they were a real species you just hadn't seen.
Yeah, it's based on the golden snub-nosed monkey a bit, correct?
I mean, that was, them and some various tarsiers and lemurs were the inspiration, but I wanted to really have it feel like a kid could be like, maybe they hadn't seen the BBC Nature documentary yet, and this was a real thing. And so to do that, could only be done practically. I would have never made the movie if we weren't doing it practically.
I know you directed something right after you got done with this. Did you watch Isaiah? Did you learn a lot on set from this experience as a burgeoning director yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was like I'm sure there's a lot of actors that also directed say this or people that worked on sets, but like really the best way to learn is by being on set and like getting the chance to be on set. And like Isaiah's a Renaissance guy, does everything, and like I think like he is someone that is just has done everything. You know, he's just a handmade guy, and it was really inspiring to watch that. And you just learn so much just by being on set and being there. And so it was like, I mean, it's kind of in line with the movie where like it's like how the Ochi talk to each other. It's like they need each other for all these things.
Handshake.
Yeah, it's the handshake thing. So like it reminds me of like that. This is like a reference to this documentary about the visual effects company ILM, about how like when computer generated graphics first like came in, it was like Jurassic Park was gonna do that for the dinosaurs, but originally it was gonna be all practical that Phil Tippett did, and in the end they ended up doing computers, but they needed Phil Tippett's designs and his sculptures in order to inform the dinosaurs, and so you need each other kind of to make these things. And like to me, like that was the coolest thing about this movie is like we all had, there was so many crew that were like bouncing back and forth and kind of Swiss Army men that were doing a bunch of different, you know, you have like Murray who worked on the film who's like doing 5 different things at once that are just different, you know, mediums.